what does Abdullah think? What's the plans?
So I speak to Abdullah still daily, really often. We would like to still work together and get out to Kuwait if possible at some point. He did say that hopefully next month the airport should be open. So if it is, I'll probably be on that first plane out there. But more than anything, it's just keep doing what I'm doing because it's working. We don't really need to change anything. We don't necessarily need to like chase weight. Just keep the progress up. Just keep being consistent, and then we'll see where it takes us moving forwards.
So you're still progressing even though you're not in Kuwait?
Yeah, and I was only in Kuwait for 6 weeks last year, and I came back and I carried on pretty much where I left off, and it just goes to show that if your mindset's right, although I love to be in Kuwait, you can still make the progress as well.
See, this is what people, I think, I spoke to Vlad Suharuchku, and he said going to Kuwait, he said, it wasn't just about being there and having the best facilities and the eyes of all these people and just everything in place. He said it actually changed his mindset for when he came back, when he went back home, and he said back to the Ukraine, and he said his whole mindset completely changed. So because people don't realize that Brandon Curry's still going to progress even if he's not in Kuwait all year round. So yeah.
That's it. And I was actually roommates with Vlad when we was out there in Kuwait.
Oh, were you?
So we still got that interaction, and it's completely that. And I think one of the main things I took from last year is Abdullah was really good at getting into my mind and like getting the best out of me as an athlete. So certain comments he would give me, certain feedback, it's always that positive reinforcement, and I was actually able to take that on board, and I started to feel like, what he's saying is actually true. And I think that showed as well when I competed last year in my pro debut and also in the British Grand Prix. That's how I actually felt, because the words what he was giving me, the encouragement, really helped my mindset.
So the confidence and self-belief from working with someone like Abdullah, plus the fact that you've done well in your rookie year, so that's really helped your mindset.
Yeah, definitely has, and that's a big factor for me, and it's definitely something what's helped.
Good. So what's the plans this year then, mate? Have you decided yet? Maybe Indy Pro in April?
Sorry, say that again.
Indy Pro in April? Because the only reason I said that is because it's the first show. It's the first show I know of.
I think that show is going to be a bit too soon. Ideally, I want to do a show closer towards like the Olympia. I know there's some shows around August time as well. But I think more than anything, I want to see how the progress goes first. I know that I can diet down and get into shape fairly quickly. So that's not really like a limiting factor. So I want to give myself the best off-season to make those improvements before I cut back down.
How long do you prep for then?
Abdullah thinks I can be ready in 12 weeks, but I think around the 14 weeks mark,
wow, okay.
I'll be pretty much around there. So I think last year towards the first show, I think it was 14 or 15 weeks, but I think Abdullah said to me, you've only been dieting from like 8 weeks, but from 15 weeks, I felt like I was in dieting, but maybe the way he sees things, it wasn't really hard dieting until like 8 weeks or so out.